Hello, TikTok family. Hello, hello, hello. It honestly feels like a Sunday. If you're just coming in, say hi. I do have one reading scheduled today. I'm going to go ahead and pull some cards for anybody who can't afford a reading today. And so just hang with us. And just in the meantime, just if you're just coming in, tap the screen, say hi, tell me where you're from. This reading I'm doing today that I have scheduled is probably going to take me about 25 to 30 minutes. And then I'm going to pull some cards for free for people who aren't able to afford a reading. I always try to give back in some way to my followers, but these cards are just for followers. So if you're not following me and you'd like a card pulled after I do this reading, please follow me and I'll go ahead and be on there for you. Hi Gaga, how are you? I'm doing really well. I've had so much fun taking my dog to the dog park today. We haven't seen you forever. How are you? I always want to call you Lady Gaga. Hi, Lady Gaga. And if you're just coming in, I do have one reading scheduled today. I'm going to go ahead and do her reading. And then I'm pulling cards for people who are watching or might have energy just for one more reading, actually. So I'm going to do maybe 2 readings today. I have 1 spot open. I'm going to be pulling some cards for people at the end. So I just do that for my followers to thank you guys for being here. In the meantime, while we're waiting for a couple people to come on, let me know how things are going for you guys and where you're from. Oh my gosh, I'm just sending you so many good vibes. I'm so excited. Hi, Linda, you're here. Yippity skippity. Hi, Tom from San Diego. I just got back from California for a beach trip with my friends, and if you can tell, I've got a little bit of color. I'm more rested than I was when I left. It was absolutely beautiful. Now I'm realizing because I live in Oregon, I was probably low on vitamin D, but also just around friends. So if you guys haven't scheduled social time to be around friends, it's so important. And I feel like that's the community that we're creating on here too, for people who don't have those friends that are like-minded. So it's something that we love to do. So I think without further ado, I'm probably going to start Linda's reading. Now Linda is receiving a reading and she's moderating, but she's multitasking. If you're not following her, please do. She makes the most beautiful, I don't have it with me, pins. I think it's still in my briefcase from my trip actually, but I call it my magical pin, and she's absolutely so loving and caring. So she's got a good community too. So go ahead and follow Linda as she volunteers her time to moderate. So Linda, I can do your reading just to have you sit in the text, or you can come on however you want it. It's up to you. And I do only have 1 more spot for a reading for somebody on here, and these are what I call like mini readings. So let me know, beautiful lady, what might work for you. If you want me to bring you on, it did freeze for a minute. Did it? Is it freezing for everybody else? Let's take a while to see. You can hop on. That might be easier, especially if it's freezing. Let's see. I'll send you the invite for him. Hopefully it won't freeze for you. Oh, hello. Can you,
This might be easier.
yes. Especially if now it's paused. Okay. Interesting. Is it paused now, Tom? It might have paused when people come on. And Linda, as
Or
long as,
maybe
oh, sorry.
it was accepting me. Maybe that's when it paused a little bit.
It does a little bit. Yeah, I think this app can only take so much energy coming into it. And thanks for your help today. I'm trying to finish up things. Linda's so sweet. Not only does she moderate and have a beautiful page for her, thanks, Tom. He says, coming in clear. But also, she looks on my page every once in a while and she'll be like, your link tree is gone. I'm like, what is this app doing? I do not know. So if while I'm giving her a reading, you have questions, you can always double click here. And I do have my website that kind of explains everything, but I'll be doing a reading for her and then I'll take a break. Thank you so much, Carol. I appreciate you being here. So Linda, the way I like to do these readings is to see who you want to hear from today. I don't need to know their name. I just need to know who they are to you.
My dad.
Your dad. Okay. One of the things is that I've been lucky enough to have the privilege to read for you before, and I just love how he comes in clear, and like 95% of what he talks about at the time makes perfect sense, and the other 5% you have time to look at it, and you're always so kind to get back to me and go, "Oh, here's the thing he was talking about." So
It's hard when you're on here. You can't think like of everything. It just pops in later, I feel like. But
yeah, so true. And sometimes it's like, it's the same as like playing charades. You're like, people were like, well, why would you draw that? And you're like, because I relate to that. So that's what I see. So, can I just do a snippet of what we were talking about in a reading before?
yeah, of course.
Thank you. So her reading was just flowing and flowing. And then at the end of it, it started to get choppy. I was like, I see a cologne bottle. It looks like, um, Calvin Klein obsession for men. And she's like, no, I don't know. I do have a cologne bottle. I'm like, that's not it. In the meantime, Linda's like, in her mind, she's like, I took a whiskey shot with my fiance, and it was from my dad's bottle. I want to make sure that he acknowledges it. But in my mind, I'm seeing what looks like the obsession bottle from Calvin Klein. I keep hearing Black Beauty like a horse, and he just keeps repeating all this. And she's like, no, that doesn't make sense to me. And I said, well, just write it down. And thank goodness she went later and looked. They have this gorgeous, like, loungy black colored room, which normally wouldn't look good in a space, but it reminds me of something that I would see like in a cigar lounge at the Fairmont. Do you know what I mean? Really classy, really cool. And then she shows me a picture of the room is black. So we've got Black Beauty. She shows me the bottle of whiskey that they took a shot out of. It's the same looking bottle that the Obsession Calvin Klein bottle looks like in my mind. It was round with that little top, and on the top is a horse. So that's her dad's way of saying that. Now, why doesn't he just say, oh, she took a shot of whiskey? I don't know, but I know that I know, I'm always frustrated, like, just tell me it. But it was a great way to communicate, and as long as you're receiving it, that's all that matters. So it's sometimes comes in a corny way. So one time I was doing a reading for a guy, Linda, and I was like, right when I was preparing for it, and I was going to be on Zoom, so I was like, oh my gosh, he's going to have this recorded. I kept hearing, he's very literal, you're going to have to be exact. No, like, oh, it's kind of like this. And I was like, oh gosh, what pressure. Not only is he a skeptic, his friend was saying, but now I'm hearing he's literal. So I start the reading, and Kim, the other moderator, was cracking up because I was like, I'm really going to need your vibes today for this reading. And right when we started the Zoom, I was like, thank you so much. I hope that this reading helps you connect to your loved ones on the other side and brings you some comfort in some way. And he's like, okay, thanks. And he just like was stone cold. And I said, and I feel like before I started your reading, I heard that you're very literal. Are you very literal? And he goes, what do you mean? And I was like, okay, yeah. Because he's like, wants a very specific example of, be specific with me. Exactly. So he was an engineer, and I have recruited engineers before when I was a recruiter. So I
They're
knew
very specific. They
so
want,
specific.
yeah.
You,
Hmm.
you can't say I'm moving forward. You have to say I'm going straight. Like all these different things. It's like, oh my gosh, right?
Yeah.
But it was a little painful to start, but he softened up, and that's all that we needed. And so thank you for letting me just kind of share that a little bit. Hi, Beth. And for your reading, and just to let people know as I'm talking to you and I do their reading later, it's always close to. Now, you never want a psychic to like just say everything, like you have a great great grandmother. Who doesn't? Do you know what I mean? And there's challenges in your life, like let them be specific. So I'm asking her dad right now to let there be him be very specific. And one of the things that he keeps saying as he comes through is, bear with me here, but he showed me the movie Meet the Parents. It has like, I can't remember the actor's name. People in the chat may be able to. This is why I love doing readings on here like this. But in the movie Meet the Parents, the dad was extremely, extremely protective over the girl, his daughter. And somehow I felt like your fiance needed some more reassurance that as your dad was meeting him, he was like, if he's not a good guy, this isn't going to go well. Do
Yeah,
you,
that's my dad
do
for
you understand
sure.
what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, he always
Yes.
had an opinion for sure.
Yeah. And your fiance had to be tough enough to ride that test out. Do you understand what I'm
Hmm.
saying?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Danny's telling us it's with Ben Stiller and Robert De Niro.
Yeah.
And the dad was just like a detective or an ex CIA agent or something like that, and just put
Yeah.
through the ringer. And that's what your dad is making me feel like. He's like, I'm very protective over her, and it's going to make me cry because the other part of it is it. Have you ever watched Pride and Prejudice?
I don't think so.
Okay, there's this one part where all the girls get married off, and he's like, fine, fine, go ahead and go. But then his daughter comes up to him and she's going to marry like Mr. Darcy. And he's like, I could not have let you go to a lesser of a person, not you, not out of everybody. And I just got so
Hmm.
emotional because I feel
Yeah.
like your dad is saying he couldn't have left unless he knew you were in good hands.
Yeah, that's right.
Does that make
He
sense?
told my boy, yeah, he told my boyfriend that.
Yeah.
He said he
That,
would know, he knew he would take care of me.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he can be, there must be something because he's focused on him today, whether he's just doubtful or tends to be hard on himself if he doesn't feel like he's being perfect. But your dad says that he's perfect for you.
He is.
You
He
understand? So,
is for sure. Yeah.
yeah. So he must be a little bit hard on himself. But he's like, sometimes, Julie, he goes, I know it's stereotypical, but bear with me here. Sometimes you have the woman who's like, soft and gentle and like, oh, they didn't pay, it's no big deal. And the guy's like, no, they're going to pay. He's like, it's opposite with them. Linda's like, no, they're going to pay. He's like, no, it's fine. Maybe we can get that later. And so he's like, that's my girl. He keeps going,
Yeah.
that's my girl. Does that make sense to you when he says that?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
And so he keeps talking about how proud he is of you for that, and how you're always wondering, am I honoring my dad? Do I make him proud? And he says, every day. You did when I was there. You're doing that now. And yes, meet the parents. They're still talking about it in the chat. So I don't know if you ever have doubts about that, but he just keeps reiterating that as well. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, of course. I do have doubts. I mean, he's not here to confirm it. And, that year-long no communication with him. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes you kind of feel like that.
Yeah, and sometimes we get like it's called stinking thinking, and we're like, does he, or am I just making this up? And then he keeps like, I keep pointing to either you or your fiance if someone just got their hair cut or something, because I feel like I'm looking at my hair and I'm like, oh, I got split ends, I have to get in there. Like I feel like I'm feeling
I
my,
did a little bit. I did a little while ago.
okay. Do you cut your own? Like I feel like I'm looking at it and I'm like, I gotta
I
see.
was a hairdresser. Maybe that's what it was.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so the point where, like, if I'm going like this, I'm like, oh, I got to make an appointment. But I feel like you're like, okay, I've got to just, I'm just going to do,
Yeah,
I'm
and
going
I
to,
mean, I cut his hair too when he was getting sicker, so I did, you know,
that's it.
so that's probably it. Hmm.
Yeah, that's totally it. Was there at one point where your dad was not eating properly or something? Because he just showed me a bowl of Jello, and usually when they show me that, they can't eat solids at a certain point.
Yeah, he had, God, I forget what it's called, but yeah, he had problem swallowing. They had a swallow test and all that, so I had to like mix up his food at one point, like a baby food,
Yeah.
mix everything together. Yeah,
That's why he would show me
absolutely.
Jello. It had to be something easily digestible. Okay, so he brings that up too.
Yeah, and I have gotten him Jello, so yeah,
Oh,
that's exactly right. Yeah.
okay. I don't usually see colors, but I keep seeing the color red. So I don't know if that was like his favorite one, but I just keep seeing the color red. But more importantly, he showed me Jello.
Okay, yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
Was that in your time of taking care of him? He keeps showing me 2 months when we're talking about all this. Did it take were you caring for him for about 2 months before he passed away?
Yeah, it was a little bit longer than that.
Okay. So if he shows me 2 months, it's either 2 months that took care of him or like two and a half. It would have to be close to that. Or that something is on the second month of the year, which would be February. Either someone's day of passing, and or someone's birthday. Does that make sense to you when he says that?
My brother's birthday is February 22nd,
Okay, that would be it. That's
the
exactly
young one.
right. That's who he would
Mm.
come to talk about. And when we talked about before about how your dad was so proud of you, when he talks about your younger brother, I don't know if your younger brother's not healthy or if someone's I just got very dizzy when your dad was talking about your brother. So that's usually like someone's like partaking in something that they should not be partaking in. I don't know if this is making any sense to you.
Yeah, I don't speak with them, so I wouldn't know, but maybe,
Okay.
you know,
If
maybe I don't talk to them.
okay, no worries. And then your dad would be bringing that up. So when I get dizzy, I just know they're not it's not a healthy thing. And then that would be like I almost felt like a panic attack trying to talk to him. So if he has harsh energy right now and you're just not talking to him, your dad understands that and he's helping you rise above the situation. He said you're doing a great job considering that you had to take care of mom and then him and the business. And do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he
for
just keeps
sure.
talking about that over and over again. Was someone part of he just showed me like horns on a wall, so I don't know, was somebody part of an Elks Club?
Horns on a wall. Oh, I wonder if it's um, he had these huge elephant tusks that he gave to my daughter, and they're on the floor. They're big. I don't know if it's that, but it's against
That's
the
it.
wall. I just had mentioned moved it, and I said, um, "You just moved these. They look good there." So they're big, huge elephant tusks, and they go from the floor up against the wall.
Okay, thank you. Because that's what I saw were just the horns, like on a
Yeah,
wall. Yeah. So I wouldn't have
yeah,
guessed elephant text, but it's good to like write that down. And if you guys were just talking about it, that's his way of showing me it. Okay.
yeah. Yeah, it was just the other day. That's why.
Yeah. I love that, right? And that would be
Hmm.
his way of saying also he's watching over your daughter. And hold on, say that again, sir. Um, sorry. I'm getting a chuckle the way he's describing your daughter. No, you don't have to worry about your daughter and anybody ever taking advantage of her because she will tell people what she feels. Does that make sense?
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
Yeah, where you're learning how to do that, but there's like a softness to it. Like you're like, hey, I don't really like that. Please don't do that again. She's like, hey, knock it off. Like she just is like straight to the point.
Yep, I'll be nice for a minute and then if it but she just goes straight. I call her my little scorpion because I'm like the big scorpion. I know when to sting, but she doesn't because the little scorpions usually release all the poison. And I said, you gotta start learning how to just do a little sting and but she does. She I don't worry about her, Julie. That's for
Good.
sure.
I'm so glad. So this is so cute. I'm looking in the chat and she says, hi, I'm Linda's mom. I'm Linda's mom that and you're talking to Linda. So hi, hello, I'm Linda's mom is talking to you, but I think she's saying,
Yeah, she's saying
I'm the Linda's
that's
mom
my
she's
mom.
talking to. Yeah,
Yeah.
this is
Yeah.
so perfect. And yeah, hold on one second. So go back to the whole thing. So I'll start to see, hear, and feel things, and it could be like food and other things. But I just keep hearing there was something like, and I heard it 3 times, but I don't taste it. But I'm just gonna just go with it, sir. Say it again. Was there a casserole dish that Doris that you used to make for your husband? Because he's like casserole dish, and then the more I look at it, do you know what it looks like to me? Show me that one more time. It's like potatoes in it. It reminds me of like scalloped potatoes or something. I don't know if this is going to make any sense. It's in a
She
cast.
was she's Italian, so she was always cooking, so she was stay-home mom. But yeah, I mean, it was different all the time.
Yeah, it would be something like this was his favorite, or this is a recipe that she makes and then her mom's crossed over. Do you know what I mean? I have other spirits coming in, but I'm supposed to talk
Hmm.
about the casserole dish, and it looks like it's layered like to me it looks like scalloped potatoes. Like I can taste
Maybe a
potatoes.
lasagna or something. She used to make that all the time,
It's
lasagna.
potatoes with onions. It's like it's kind of like a little bit different because
Really?
I'm trying to me, if it was lasagna, I would, oh, and then Beth is like, was it like shepherd's pie?
She would just kind of, she was just one of those people that could put stuff together and it would taste good, you know. I wasn't one of those cooks. I needed to go pull the
Yeah.
recipe, you know, but she would make potatoes, you know, and she'd mix stuff in with it, but I mean, he always enjoyed her cooking, you
Yeah.
know.
He just keeps talking about it over and over again. So I'm going to go back to how he showed me the jello with you. And now mom comes in. I'm supposed to talk about casserole, or you got casserole dish. It's like he keeps talking about it. So I'm like, casserole, not carousel. He's like, casserole. And I just feel like that was my favorite. So maybe she came up with something where he could eat, but I'm not, at the end because he couldn't eat so much. But I'm just putting that to the side. That's what it tastes like to me. Onions and potatoes. Those are the two main things I can taste in it. Not the sauce so much like I would taste in lasagna, but that's okay. Put
Hmm.
it to the side. So if this is either him or she makes this from her grandmother and then they hand it down and everybody loves it and that's the recipe. I'm not sure, but I'll let her come in and comment, but she hasn't yet. But that's okay. We know how this goes because we had the Black Beauty with the we know
Yeah, I'm sure it'll come up later. Mom, did you make potatoes with onions that Dad liked?
mine's the
Uh,
only thing I've ever seen like that is like scallop potatoes, but then I've never really eaten shepherd's pie, but that's what Beth 007 says.
yeah, she'd make potatoes and then she'd mix eggs with it. It was good. I don't even know how to explain it, but yeah, it was really good.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, if that was it, then that's what I'm tasting too. And it's got like onion powder. There's a taste of some spice in it, like onion or garlic powder, because I can taste that. So
yeah.
we're close to it. That's how she's showing me. Okay, hold on one second. I remember, yeah, they cook so much. Okay, perfect. Your mom's just saying she remembers. So as long as that's good, then
Yeah.
we're good to go. I keep seeing a pulley system. I don't know why. At the end, did you have a hard time lifting your dad? The only pulley thing I know is like when it's like got the little nozzle in the middle and then you pull it like a pulley system. I just
Yeah,
kept seeing
I
that.
had gotten him one of those to exercise his arms.
Hmm.
So he would put it on the door and then he could pull it back and forth.
Okay, pulley system. That's what I see.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Then that's just his way of showing that as well. He just keeps showing that. So let me back up and see if there's anything. Oh, sweetheart. He just makes me feel like he went in style. There's something about like he lived his life very stylish and he went out in style. He just keeps
Hmm.
saying that. Does that make sense to you? That means like he's like a classy guy.
He was very classy, always dressed nice, always I mean, never, no jeans, no tennis shoes, always dressed up, pants and nice shirt, always. Everybody said it. When he
Yeah.
walked into a room, he just looked good all the time. Yeah, he was proud. He just loved dressing, you know, and looking nice when he left the house. So,
Yeah. Because he kind of showed, I'm wearing a suit and I'm going like this with my shirt underneath. Like it's all to the nines.
yeah, that was him. And I have 200 suits I don't know what to do with, but it definitely smells like him in here. Yeah.
That's why he's bringing that up. And that's so funny because Doris says just like mom. Yeah.
Yeah, she goes out that way too. This just
Mhm.
that old school, you know, everybody dressed great, you know. I think that's kind of going away a little bit. So,
Yeah. Beth goes,
mm.
oh, and I don't know if with your mom, here you are wanting a reading. Dad's like, let me say hi to mom real quick. So it's kind of going back and forth, but show me again. I don't know if this is for your mom or you or one of you has a red dress, but I kept hearing that song. You know that song that goes, the lady in red is dancing with me cheek to cheek. I just keep hearing that. So if like mom has a red dress or somebody's red,
Mom has 500 dresses, and I think she sang that song all the time, The Lady in Red. If I'm not mistaken. But yeah, she's got a lot of dresses.
yeah. So she says, yes. Okay, good. And everybody's like, wow. So as long as this makes sense to you guys, that's all that matters to me. Just know this is how he's coming in with so much love, and support. He says, and both of you guys have gone through so much that he knows like now's not the time to go on a vacation. Hold on one second. Say it again. Was there a thing about, so I'm going to go back to the movie Meet the Parents because they have a large RV when they pull
Yeah.
up to the house. Do you guys have one of those?
No,
Okay. Did someone ever tell you, like, let's go camping to you or your mom, and you said, the only way I'm going to go camping is if I have one of those RVs with the sink and the washer and the toilet. I'm not going, I'm going to do a glamping. Did you
it
guys?
was always a big joke because they hated like that type of vacations, and I always thought it would be cool to get one of them. And they're like, "Oh, it's just awful. I would never do that. Like sell my house and just get one of those and travel." See, she says no. See, they
Yeah.
just never liked that at all.
Okay.
That wasn't their thing, you know.
So even if you had said it to them and they didn't do it, but it was a conversation that you had,
Oh yeah,
that's how
we've
dad
had
would
it.
look at it. Yeah.
Yep, absolutely had that conversation. Yeah.
Yeah. Because you're like, well, there's classy ones. And they're like, no, I keep getting like, I'm not going camp. Camping sounds awful. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, my mom's heels won't withstand the grass,
No,
so
no. And she's very clean. Your dad is saying, so this would not fly with her. This would not fly with her.
no, no.
This is so
Mm,
funny. So that's how he comes through and he keeps saying, I heard you. I heard both of you. So when that happens, I know somebody's like a little bit asleep when they're passing and you're wondering, gosh, are they hearing me? Does this make sense? And trying to talk to them before they go. And he's saying that he heard you.
yeah, I kind of felt like he did.
Yeah, I heard
Even
you.
though you don't get confirmation, you definitely know when because I told him he could go. Like I said, the boys are not coming, you can go now. And that's when his oxygen started going down.
Yeah. And I was just going
Mm.
to say, he said permission. So whenever I see that, I know, okay, hold on. I have to just spend time on this. Say it again, sir. When someone's passing and we just want with all of our beings for them to stay, but we know that they're hurting, so we're going to let them go. When we say, I'm going to miss you, but if you need to go to be out of pain, you can go. It gives them the most peaceful passing ever. So he wants to
Hmm.
thank you for that because that was so hard for you to actually say out loud, but you wanted it for him, even though you wanted him to stay. And that's very selfless. Does that make sense?
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
It was
And if,
hard. Yeah. Of
yeah, he
course I
just,
wanted him to stay, but I knew it was time for him to go.
yeah. And some people beg their families, please stay, don't go. And it makes them harder for them to leave. Everybody passes, no one's ever stuck, but they definitely are challenged at that time. And he says that was just what I needed to just go, okay, release it. Because he wanted to always be here for everybody. And your mom says, and today I still don't believe that he's not here anymore. I get it. I get it. That's why being a medium is so important to me, to keep telling these stories, to keep doing these readings so that you guys know that though their body has dissipated, their spirit is very much still alive, is very much still alive, and is trying to communicate with you in any way that they can.
Oh, I feel him around myself. I was going to tell you a quick story about my daughter who kind of kept complaining she wouldn't see any signs. And her manager had just lost her mom, and she says, I get signs from my mom all the time. She goes, my mom gets signs from my no-no, but I don't. But she works at a casino, and she said, okay, they can hear us. So by the time you leave work, you're going to see the numbers 333. So
Mm.
she said that she was going to get a jackpot, and a girl had made it there before, but she said she was struggling getting the machine to work. She said it was not likely for it to happen, but she helped her and moved on. And the manager goes, "Did you see it?" She goes, "See what?" She goes, "The jackpot." She goes, "What was it, Lexus?" She goes, "Oh my God, 33,300." And she goes, the machine was malfunctioning. She goes, it never malfunctions like that. Usually when we stick the card in, she she goes, I'm sure he saw that I was not going to go there and kind of created more chaos for me to see it. But 33,300, 333 right in the front. It's
That's
crazy.
perfect. And see, that's what happens, especially if we're logical and you're a number person. They're going to show you their day of passing, their birthday, your birthday. This is just how they do it. So when people say, "What kind of signs do they show me?" I always say they're always showing you different signs. In my experience, when I'm around people and they say, "I don't see signs," because I had a best friend like that too. Then we went on vacation. Her mom's name is Lucy. There was a dog on the beach. It was the only dog. There was only one other couple on the beach as we were walking. And I said, well, I left my dog at home. I want to go say hi. Oh, and just so you know, Kim Doris is Linda's mom. So that's okay, Doris, hang in there. Kim's doing her job muting people while we're doing readings, so that's fine. But
Those moderators, I tell you.
I know we're on it. We drink coffee today. So if you, no worries. She's like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. That's okay,
Oh, no,
sweetheart.
you're fine, Kim.
You're
It's
doing a good
fine.
job. I know. Dolores is like, hey, this is so funny. Yeah, we're on it, moderators. We cannot do this without you guys. That's for sure. Um,
Uh,
so if you guys find yourself being muted, I didn't put up my little sign, which is I know, and she only mutes you for 5 seconds. It's just so I can concentrate on this reading. But Doris, you're welcome to come back. But say the thing that you were going to say about the other thing. Oh, and so I went up to this couple and I said, do you mind if I pet your dog? Is she friendly? And they're like, no. And I was like, he or she? And they're like, she. And I said, what's her name? And they go, Lucy. And I look at my friend and I said, you don't think that's a sign? And she's like, that's a sign? I just thought that was a coincidence. So I think that some people, like when I had this gift, I would say, oh, it's just a coincidence that I know that. And there is coincidences, but coincidences, wasn't that Albert Einstein that said coincidences are God's way of showing that he's around you, showing his stuff? Do you know what I mean?
right,
So
right.
when you call upon someone and you see a sign and you have to ask, oh my gosh, was that a sign? Then that's a sign. It's as simple as that.
Yes. I
So,
think it's a, she wasn't really looking for them, or she maybe expected a stronger sign, like something. I go that it's not going to fall in front of you. I mean, it could, like, I
yeah,
see feathers all the time, so, but yeah.
yeah,
So now she's more, now she gets it. Like, it's not a blinking 333 sign. It's look at the, she read the jackpot off to the lady and it still didn't click. So I think she's overlooking it so.
yeah. And sometimes that happens when we are very logical. But what's great about the spirits on the other side is they're just going to keep being persistent. So we always
Yeah,
want that dream where they come and visit us in our dreams and they give us a message. That's the most rare sign I've ever seen. And as a medium, I haven't actually seen that much. And I'm open. Do you know what I mean? So I always
right.
say, don't let holding on so tight to a major sign have you be oblivious to the beautiful little simple signs that they're showing you every day, and just be open to that. So that's the best thing. Hold tightly to the request of seeing a sign, hold loosely to how it comes to you. And if you have to ask, oh my gosh, was that a sign? Then that's a sign.
So many, Julie. I get so many from him. It's just like, it is comforting for sure.
Yeah,
So
he's so funny. He goes like this. I'm making it rain with my signs. So that's good that you're open, because some people say I wasn't before this and I started to get readings and now I'm starting to be open. So that's why I keep doing this. So thank you so much, Linda, for being here.
thank you.
Thank your dad for coming through so clear. And please tell your fiance that he just adores him and he couldn't let you go to a lesser person. He wouldn't have been okay with that.
Thank you, Julie.
You're welcome, sweetheart. Thank you. Oh my goodness, this is so nice.
I don't.
Whoa, oh, were you going to say I don't know how to do that? Thank you guys for being here. I realize some of you signed up for a reading, and I'm so sorry, you guys. I'm out of it today. I didn't put my little thing up here that says, please hold your comments while I'm doing the reading. And so if you were muted, you were only muted for 5 seconds. Please don't take that personally, as I know that can happen to people. Hi, Elena. What was it, Mindy? Oh no, that was me. Julie, your hair's looking amazing. Thank you. No worries, Beth. You're doing fine. I'm so glad you're here. Mindy, you signed up. Okay, perfect. Perfect. I think I have energy to do one more reading today. If the other person who signed up, there you go, Rena, Dr. Rena. I might message you on when I go live again because I try to hold my energy for as long as I can. I can usually hold it really strong for an hour. And I have a huge Zoom group tomorrow at 3:30 Pacific Coast time, and we do have one more opening in that. So if either one of you wants to be in the Zoom group for your donation today, I can sign you up for that too. It's at 3:30 Pacific Coast time. So Dr. Rena or Mindy, let me know. It's kind of like what we're doing here, but on Zoom. And I think we have a total of maybe 10 people. No worries. Okay, so Mindy, I'm going to do yours first. And Dr. Rena, I'm going to message you. It's at 3:30 Pacific Coast time tomorrow. And if not, I can let you know the next time I go live, which will probably be Monday. But I can always schedule you on a live. And Mindy, I just want to see if I think I can invite you on. Mindy, did you want to come on for your reading? Did you want to come on here with me, sweetheart, like Linda did? It's kind of easier because then if this app gets choppy, we're good. Sure? Okay. Oh, I can. Good. See how this works out. So Dr. Rena, I'm going to message you and then I'll go ahead and send you the link. So right now, Dr. Rena, go ahead and message me through Venmo. That was your form of payment, and give me your email and I'll go ahead and get you all set. I'm so excited. You're going to love it. See, everything happens for a reason. And I'm going to go ahead. Oh, 1124 is my sign too. Okay, so Mindy's coming on. And moderators, I'm actually okay if people just chat on the side when I'm doing this because I'm not looking at them so much. So unless they're spamming, I'm good. Hi, Mindy.
Hi, how are you?
Good. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, I can.
Good. Thank you so much for being here. You have amazing energy. This is going to be so much fun.
I'm excited.
Me too. You're like, they're like, she's excited, she's nervous at the same time. You're going to be good at this. Why do I feel like you're worried you're not going to be good enough? I'm like, I'm the one who's supposed to prove myself to you. You just sit and relax. You must really care about a lot of
Okay,
other people, right?
I do. Yeah.
Yeah. Because they're like, she's like, oh no, I hope I can do this. I'm like, no, you sit back. Or, you don't have to do anything. Why is she worried? Perfect. Well, bless your heart
Okay.
for having so being so empathic. Thank you for being on this planet. I don't know if you get thanked enough for the love that you give out to other people. I feel like sometimes empaths have a thankless job, but feel the need to start off your reading by telling you you are making a difference. Please don't be so hard on yourself. You're giving enough. What you're giving is enough. And if anybody's ever saying that it's not enough and they want more, then those are the people who are just like not good with boundaries. Do you understand?
I do. Thank you.
You're welcome. And I always say there's being of service and there's being a servant. And we can be of service, that's great. But if we're running around like a chicken with our heads cut off, making other people homemade chicken soup when they're sick, but when we're sick, we're getting like Kentucky Fried Chicken. You know why I'm telling you this? Does this make sense?
Yeah, I just made homemade chicken soup last night.
Yeah. See?
Yeah.
And if we
Yeah,
do that for others, but then when we're sick, we're like, I'll just take McDonald's. I don't need any help from other people. Do you know what I mean?
I do. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm so glad I'm giving you this reading today. You have a lot of angels around you. So if you ever see the numbers 444, those mean like you have thousands of angels with you on your life purpose. And I know you like giving. I can see that about you, but you also deserve to receive, and so that you're better feeling more balanced.
Okay.
Yeah. And I didn't even think that was going to come out, but I just let spirit say what it's going to say. And when I do these readings, I have people in the chat. So it's like I'm walking into a room with a lot of people, like a mall with a lot of people talking. So to hone in on your energy to make sure I'm doing this right for you, did you have someone that you wanted to hear from today? And I don't need to know their name. I just need to know who they were to you.
My parents.
Okay. Mom comes through first. And did mom or dad smoke?
Yes, both. Hmm.
Both? Okay. She comes through this way and she circles you and says, thank you. Whenever they do that, I feel like you're the helper in the family. Yes, I understand. And she's the one who's saying that your position that you had in the family was kind of being the helper, but not thanked properly for it. It's almost like it's expected, like, oh, we don't have to worry about that. Mindy will do it. And you're like, why am I always in charge? Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes, I do.
Yeah. And yeah, I understand. They're showing me the month of April being someone's day of passing or someone's birthday.
It's my birthday.
Good. Okay. Did you not? What's going on? Your mom is coming through. She's like, what is going on? Why is she not celebrating? Did you just have a monumental birthday? Are you not celebrating your birthdays as big as you used to? Like, I feel like she's on a high horse about it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I guess not. I mean, the older you get, the less you really you really get into it, I suppose.
She's like, that won't do. That will not do. She's like, so I don't know if your mom was big on birthdays or lately if
Yeah.
you're like, it comes and it goes and I don't acknowledge it or something or whatever. And she's like, that will not do. That's not okay. So she just makes me feel like, and if your friends around you aren't making a big deal out of it because you're planning other people's events and thinking about them, if you don't have, we need to get you some new friends. Do you know what I mean? She's like,
That
she's on
would
her.
be her.
Yeah, she's on her soapbox today. Like, I'm telling you, this is interesting to me. Did someone own like a general store or something in your family?
Um, my great grandfather owned like a hardware store.
Yeah, but you could like, there's a gumball machine or something like that too. Like, I feel like I'm walking in, but then I can put my quarter and like, oh my gosh, this is so cute. I love this. Okay, just a side note, they'll show me things that I've been through and then show me things about you. But do you have memories of that? Say it again one more time. Say it again. Where you put the Coca-Cola, put the quarter in nickel and probably back then 10 cents or whatever, and you get the glass Coca-Cola bottle out of the machine.
I don't, but her uncle was made his own soda, and I have his bottles.
Thank you. Were they glass? They were glass
They,
bottles.
yes, they were glass bottles.
That's just the way that they're coming in. And hold on one second. You have a funny family. Are you not going to write a book about this? Because
Oh, I've actually thought about it, to be honest.
please do. No one would believe these. They'd be like, "Was that on fried green tomatoes? Like, where did you?" You're like, "No, this was actually my story." Did someone have? They either owned a barber shop or they had like a really weird mustache. Do you know the old kind? Like,
Mm.
it almost like there's like. I feel like I'm seeing this when they have the mustaches that go and then they're curly on the end,
I don't know.
like that. That's also their shy. Thank you. Like back in the day, barbers used to have that.
Okay.
So just so you know, he's showing me that, or like a saloon operator. Just write it down. I promise
Okay.
you, just write it down because 95% of what I tell you in a reading should make sense. And is there a Tom or Tim? They keep drawing a T for me, either here or crossed over.
Um, my stepdad's brother, but not crossed.
Okay, that's okay. Is your stepdad crossed over?
He is.
Yep, that's the way he would be like, hey, she asked about mom and dad, but what am I, chopped liver? Like, he's like, I feel like pork chops over here. Because I was going to
Right.
say, if it's not a name, then they're showing me a state. So it's like Texas, because he keeps showing me a T, but I really felt the Tom. So that would just be his way of coming through too. But I'm sorry, I know this is serious because you've had people pass, but I can't stop laughing because your family, it's just a bunch of characters. Like, I just can't even handle the energy that I'm having come through here. They're very funny.
You can see why they're missed then, huh?
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. And not only that, just because of the charisma and the stories and everybody, I understand. Thank you. Um, really, in your family, this they're proud that you didn't have normal people. Do you understand?
I do. We talked about it all the time.
Yeah, they're like, that's overrated. I don't want to. Yeah, I march to the beat of my own drum. I'm not doing all those crazy things. So it's like, yeah, I don't know if someone would actually say, not my circus, not my monkeys, but the family feels kind of like if someone were in the circus, that wouldn't surprise me because they just feel very. What's the word for Nicolas Cage, where he's like very.
We bought a coffee mug for my stepmother that said something like that because we joked about it all the time that we were a circus. Yeah.
So my eldest just came in and said eccentric. Do you know what I mean?
Eccentric. Yes. Yes.
That's how I can say it,
100%.
right? I feel like if
Hmm.
I'm gonna go out to dinner and out to some cafe and I want to wear a shirt with a bow tie, I'm gonna do that. And everybody's like, that's not in. It's like, I don't care. I don't care. So see how everybody's starting to come through so strong. And I'm so sorry to see that you've had so many people pass because the more I do your reading, the more my office is getting very crowded. Do you know what I
Yes.
mean?
It's been a very heavy few years. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm going to go back to when your mom says thank you, then you must have been the one to help taking care of her and your dad while they were passing. And I feel like there's something about that story with Chicken Little, like who's going to help me? And no, it's like when it comes to helping, it really feels like it's on your shoulders. So I don't know if
Yeah.
you were in charge of that or if you were the one everybody was calling to do that. Does that make sense to you when I say that?
It sure does. Yeah.
Yeah. But then at the end, when you're like, I'll wrap everything up, they're like, okay, so what's left? And you're like, ew, don't come now and ask that when you weren't here during that time. It's like, I don't want to think about people like that. I want to think that my family was more caring than that, but it feels a little bit like that. Does that make sense to you when I say that?
A little bit. Yeah.
Yeah. And then is there a Rebecca or Becky?
My aunt. Mhm.
Okay. Is she crossed over also?
She is.
Did she have a lot of wigs? Or did
No.
she, who had, I feel like every time I see somebody, their hair is going to look different.
Oh my goodness. I had a great grandmother that passed and she wore wigs and we wore them and it was a funny thing.
Yeah. Because I feel like I have a beehive and now I have a Carol Channing. Is that her name? Like almost like a bob cut. Does that make sense to you when I say that?
Yeah.
Yeah. And hold on one second. Was someone actually she showed me a heart and then I heard Valentine's Day. Was someone actually born or had a birthday on Valentine's Day, got married on is Valentine's Day a day to you other than Valentine's Day?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay, then that means that someone passed away or had a birthday in February because I'm being drawn to that. And she went like this. And then I was drawn to the heart for Valentine's Day. And usually, when a person passed away of a heart attack, I feel pain around it. And that's how they show me heart. But she did not show me that. So that's okay. Just write it down. I honestly feel like I have 13 of your relatives who
I'm not
crossed.
surprised. I'm not
Yeah.
surprised, but that makes me
Yeah.
feel really good.
Yeah, and that you ask them to always be around you, and they are. And I don't know if it's you that likes animals more than they do people or something like that,
Mm,
but I keep hearing she likes animals more than people. So just know they're bringing that up.
okay.
I always say it doesn't make sense to me, but it should
Yep.
make sense to you or someone around you. Okay, as long as
Right.
you have that. Okay, so I'm just going to pause here for a moment. If I ever have the privilege of doing a reading for you again, please remind me to drink caffeine before because I feel like the amount I understand, thank you, sir, amount I understand, thanks, that they're coming through. I just feel like I can't take a break, but it's in a good way. So you have so much good energy around you. As I say, I'm going to take a break. Your dad comes in and says, I have some things I want to say. So
Oh boy.
yeah. So as he
I'm
comes,
sorry.
no, I don't be sorry. I knew you were going to worry more about me. You do that constantly. So sweetheart, this is a Disneyland ride. You just sit back, relax, buckle your seatbelt. No, I'm just kidding.
Okay.
I'm fine. This is a privilege. Are you kidding me? And for people watching, this is very healing for them as well. So you're doing a great job. You're doing a great
Thank
job.
you.
You're
Thank you.
welcome, sweetie. So as your dad comes through, there's somebody who was like, I feel like brilliant, but did not go to school. So I'm like, if I go play Jeopardy, I'm going to get every answer right. But yet I feel like I've either self-taught or I'm just like photographic memory. But someone who didn't go to school but is like really smart on their own feels like they did because of how smart they are. Does this make sense to you?
Mm, I mean, my dad was kind of that way.
Yeah. So as your
Yeah.
dad comes through, that's the first person I see. And he shows me a lot of
Yeah.
books behind him, but I feel like, do I see a diploma? I don't really see anything. He's like, but I could play like Jeopardy or something, and I knew facts. That happened in World War II, da 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 date. Do you know what I mean? I just almost feel
Yes.
like I can recall dates, which is great because I cannot do that at all.
Yeah.
Um, but he is saying, yes, okay, oh, okay, gosh, this is so cool. Okay, thank you for letting me do this for you, because as he comes through, one of the things that he's saying is, um you jokingly say I should write a book, and when you tell stories, people go, you should write a book. Do you understand what he's saying?
100%.
And then when you go to do it, you're like, this won't be any good. I don't know if I should do this. But even though the logic comes in to tell you not to do it, you think about it quite often. Do you understand what I'm saying?
All the time. All the time.
Mhm. Yeah. So this is the thing, and I'm so glad I'm able to give you this reading. When we hope, wish, or pray for something good to come to us, like more finances, and your dad says, stop saying you just only need a little bit more money. Stop doing that. You're like, I just need a little bit. I don't need to be a millionaire. I just need a little bit. He's like, you can be a millionaire. you can you can be a millionaire. He's like, what? Nothing's wrong with money. Money is a good thing. It provides freedom, and he knows that you'll just end up giving a lot of it to others, but be okay with making a lot of money. Be okay with that. Do you understand? He's like, it's like you want
Yes.
things and you're like, I wish I could travel, but geez, I only need $200 till the end of the month. He's like, stop saying that.
Oh, Julie, you are just so on target. It's just, my mind's blown.
Yeah. So see, this is me. This is me channeling, but this is his love
Yeah.
for you and your family and your love for them. And once I'm done channeling, this information is still going to be all around you. So watch that movie Joy, where she invents that mop. You're already drawn to people who like J.K. Rowling and people who've invented things and Shark Tank, and then they have their future take off. Like you're drawn to that because there's a part of you who's like, maybe I'm going to do that one day. Do you know what I mean? And as I
I
do,
say it all the time. I really do. Like, just,
yeah, my
wow.
dog's hacking up a lung. She's fine. She's like Chihuahua. She licks herself. She's having a hairball moment. We're going to be fine. She always does it in
Oh,
the middle of my readings. She's a
I
drama.
have one of those. I have one of those too. Honey helps.
Oh, yeah, she's a drama queen. So we're just like, Delilah, can you give it a rest for a minute? Mama's working over here. No, I'm just kidding. No, she's fine. Um, but go back to the thing that you were going to say. And there's just such high energy around this. So when we hope, wish, or pray for more abundance or more security or something like that, we will receive an idea. And hope, wishing, or praying is all the same thing. It's us requesting something to come into our lives from the unknown. So do you have to say it in prayer form? Nope. Can you make a wish? Yep. It's all the same to them. All they see is you're having a positive request to bring something into your life from an unknown source, the divine
No,
source. Does that make sense to you when I say that?
it does. Yes.
Yeah. And so dad is saying, we're answering your prayers. And he goes, and We keep telling her to do the book, and it just keeps getting louder because now he's like, now we have symbols. Like, so I don't know if you guys actually had one of those little monkeys that puts the symbols together.
I don't think so, but
But he's like, so he's showing me like now we're getting louder. Like he's like, before it was just gentle. Now I'm like, write the book, write the book. Like he's like, do we need to play drums over here? Does someone need to have like a trombone? Like he's trying to show me
yeah.
that he's trying to get the message louder to you. Does that make sense?
Yeah, he said it to me often, so I'm not surprised. And he was a very boisterous man, so
He
yeah.
is. And so funny to me. And with your dad, I feel like yes, I love that, sir. You're so cute. Though he was older, he was very when I say childlike, I don't mean to say immature, but he's always like, yeah, let's open a hot dog stand and sell lemonade. Do you know he's always like, just
Yes,
dream
yes,
your dream. Don't
yes,
let logic stop you. Do you understand?
yep, yes, absolutely.
Yeah. And I don't know if you're Irish or why he shows me this, but I keep feeling like he's going to be your little leprechaun.
Oh my gosh. He dressed up head to toe in green every St. Patrick's Day. Like that was his day. I mean, we have many pictures. I'll send you a picture after this, but yeah,
Yeah.
that
See,
makes a
I'm
lot of sense.
crying. Makes me so
Yeah.
happy. Do you understand? Oh my gosh, it makes me so happy. I love your dad. No wonder you're missing him. Do you know what I mean? What a
He
great
was loved.
guy.
He was loved by all. I mean, he was loved by all. Yeah.
Yeah. And there's that thing about, so if he comes through and he says, I'm going to be your leprechaun, and he dressed up like a leprechaun I love that. What an awesome guy.
Oh my
Um,
God.
I know that's very specific. And for him to do that, the leprechaun helps you find the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. Do you
Right.
understand what I'm saying?
I do. Yeah.
Yeah. So he's saying, please, sweetheart, our society sounds like, ooh, money's a bad thing. Money's not a bad thing. People who are corrupt that have money to use it to belittle other people, that's a bad thing. Money itself is very neutral. It's not a bad thing. So please start saying like an affirmation. I accept money. Money loves me. I love money. I love having money. I'll take $1 million for this book. I'll take $5 million. I'll take $25 million. Because think about all of the schools I could help. Think about all the programs I could help them with their music program. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
And then think of all
Yeah.
the places where you could travel. I would love to see you be like that Eat, Love, Pray, where you're just trapped. I don't know about going to India, but it feels too hot there right now. But like, I could see you doing that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And I keep hearing that song. It goes, dream a little dream for me. And I don't know the rest of the lyrics, but the
Huh.
I have a feeling that they're sharing that song with me because you're like, I want to have this dream. And if I write this book, then I wish they would have been here to see it. And they're like, are you kidding me? We're living vicariously through you. We already see all of this.
Wow.
That's how they knew you were making the chicken noodle soup. Do you know what I mean? That what's a
Yeah.
random thing to bring up for someone's.
Right. Oh my goodness. This is just unbelievable.
I'm so glad. And that's a testament to you being open to the signs and their love for you and your love for them. Like I said, I'm just plugging in. This has been a privilege for me to feel such love and support for the other side to say, when we were here, we would say, do anything you want to do. And don't listen to people tell you that something's not possible because the people have done that thing will tell you it's possible. The people who haven't done it will go, well, you don't want to try that. It might fail. It's like, what? That sounds awful. What if I fail? It's okay.
Right.
Yeah,
And I do. I second guess myself all the time, and I put others first or other priorities first. But it's something that has been in my mind for well over 20 years to do. So
right. And
this is
dad
really
says,
confirmation.
yeah, I'm so glad. And dad says it's just going to keep getting louder. It's just going to keep getting louder. It's like Field of Dreams. That's why I have Field of Dreams back here. Ease his pain, build it, he will come. You're like, what are all these signs I'm hearing? Dad's like, we're just going to crank up the volume. But just as a side note, I always feel like they have people come to me, a lot of authors or people who have ideas. I'm dyslexic. I did finish college, but just by the skin of my teeth. And I was like, does somebody need a $50 bill just to give me this diploma? Because this is too hard for me. And I didn't know I was dyslexic until my junior year of school. But the reason I'm sharing this with you is because I always dreamt of writing. I wrote Dart. My maiden name or my last name is Dart. So I would write Dart Publishing on everything when I didn't even know what a publishing company was. And I had all
Wow.
these ideas to write books, but how could I do that if my grades weren't okay? And I was the big helper, so I would always like do everything for everybody else. And one time I heard my grandmother Mary tell me, "We need you to write this book." And I said, "I don't know how to write it." She goes, "Just 5 minutes a day here and there, start writing your book." I said, "Okay." So I got my little pamphlet and I was like, "I'm going to start writing." So I started cleaning the house and scrubbing like things. And I heard, "Are you really going to scrub these spots out of the carpet and not write your book today?" Like that, the carpet's going to be dirty. You have two little kids and it's going to be dirty within 24 hours. And I went, okay. So I'm happy to announce that I have written 5 books right now. I've written
Oh, wow.
four children's books and 1 book that I'll show later when I close up called I Am Home to help people with this process. And I consider myself not the sharpest knife in the kitchen, but I love to share stories. Do you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
my advice to you, Mindy, is just start. You almost have to, and I had to do it for someone else so that I would overcome my fear. So I was like, I'll show my kids that anything's possible. So I felt sick
Wow.
when I was writing it and I got nervous. And these are all things that authors go through. Even if
Sure.
they've already published a book, it was what I felt when I was around a lot of authors helping them with their book signings is this is a standard thing for authors to feel. But I feel like once you get started, I feel like you would want to write another one. It just feels so much a part of you. Like I already feel like you're at a book signing. Do you know what I mean?
I do. I I have this little obsession with notebooks. And I have a million of them. So I'll pick one up and I'll write a page of just, random thoughts, not even in an order. And then it feels too big to me, so I put it down. And
Yeah.
then I'll do it again the next week. And so, I mean, probably have a book somewhere in there, but
I just got chills everywhere. So can I share something with you as you're saying that?
yes,
And
please.
thank you again for this because people listening to this now will be like, "Oh, I'm a writer too." So you're helping people because I feel like you always have to receive things and you're cognizant of time. Just let that all go and know that what we're talking about right now is not only for you and helping you, but is like it's going to help other people too. So this is all good that we're spending so
Okay.
much time on this because I just feel like you're very aware of that. So I need to keep saying that. So say the thing that you were just going to say. Okay. So Dr. Wayne Dyer, bless his heart, he's passed away. I went to one of his book signings. You could just sign up through Hay House and go help an author who's local to you with their book signing. And so I went to go see him and we were preparing ahead of time. Like, this is how I want you guys to handle the line. This is what I want you to say to people if they say that they might have a question for me. And this is how to do it. And we're like, okay, nice guy ever. And I looked at his book and I said, "Your book is beautiful." And he goes, "You know what, Julie? You would think that I just sat down at my laptop and I just wrote this book from A to Z, but do you know, I had it on Word documents. I had it in several notepads." He goes, "I had it on sticky notes and Kleenexes, and I handed it to my editor and I go, 'Here's my book.'" And she goes, "Are you kidding me?" And he goes, "No." So writers aren't editors.
Wow.
You're just the storyteller. That's very common for a writer to just when it hits you, you're just writing and random different books. So I started laughing because I had like 25 of them when I was going through trying to highlight what I wanted to put into my book. So you do have a book. You do
Wow.
already have the start. And I commend you on even trying to do this because with all of the millions of people out there with a book idea, maybe 2% of people actually follow that through. And I just pray for you that you just have the courage and a cup of confidence because I think you're really going to impact a lot of people with your story.
Oh, thank you, Julie.
You're welcome. So don't stop believing. That song comes on, your dad's like, don't stop believing. And if it says, I have a logical mind too, and it's 333 Pacific Coast time. So ask your family for help, ask for help for other people. What's going to happen immediately when you do that is you're going to want to scrub the spots on the carpet. So get out and make someone else, I make my neighbor some chicken soup. It's like, oh my gosh. So I get it. So get my
Yeah.
advice to you when I read your energy and I see what an empath you are. I was like that too. So I couldn't be in my own home because I'd be like, well, the dogs need something and I gotta. So I just started writing at a cafe. I just started
Okay.
writing at a cafe.
It's a great idea. Yeah.
Yeah. And it was the best thing I could have done. And my books weren't published by anybody else. And I kept getting so mad at my relatives saying, why did you want me to publish these books? I don't understand. And then I had a dream. You wrote Dark Publishing for a reason. You're going to start your own publishing company. And then I thought, I don't want to do that. I already didn't know how to write the book. Why are you having me start a publishing company? I don't know how to do that. But my mom was the entrepreneur and she always had business ideas and she never knew how to start. So I knew this was her giving me this guidance. And sitting at the very cafe where I wrote this book and it wouldn't get published and it wouldn't get published. And I tried to self publish and then the book fell apart and the self publishing company wasn't any good. And then all of a sudden, my husband at the time was like, I'm moving out. I'm like, oh my gosh. And it wasn't good with him anyway. But I was like hoping that eventually it would change. So he left. So during my divorce, I'm sitting at this cafe and I had to trust the timing. This is why I'm sharing this with you. So I was sitting at the cafe where I wrote this book and the manager came over and he said, Julie, I've never seen you so down. You're always upbeat. I've seen you through the death of your dog, your parents, and now what's going on. And I said, I just wanted this book. It's more than a book. I wanted it to give me hope that something good out of all this loss was going to come my way. And he goes, well, why don't you self-publish? And I said, I don't have enough money for that. I'm going through a divorce. And he said, how much would it take for you to publish a couple of your books, self-publish? And I said, probably $3,000. And he goes, okay. So he goes in the office and he talks to the owner's son. And it makes me cry every time. And he said, Julie, we've seen you help people over the years when you did have funds. You helped us with every fundraiser. You were here being so generous. We know this is going to be hard for you to take. But if you sponsor your first book and put Stax, Campbell, California, look it up. That's where I wrote my book. We're going to give you this check for $3,000.
Oh my goodness.
And I was like, I can't take that. And they said, you will take it and you will publish your book. I couldn't have written that story out, that plan in a better way. I wouldn't have
Wow.
known what to do. It just came to me. So hold on tightly to the dream of your book. Hold on loosely to how it unfolds. It's going to come in a more miraculous way. But all they need you to do, sweetheart, is just start. And sometimes people like you are better at starting a blog, even if you don't show your name, and you just write bits of the story on there. And then after a year, it's all put together. Do you know
I
what I
love
mean?
that idea. Yes. Yes.
Yeah. You can be any
Uh,
way that you want. Your dad is so funny. He's like, you can write it in a car. You can write it very far. I'm like, okay, Dr. Seuss. Like, he's like, yes.
oh, that would be him. Oh my goodness.
Mhm.
Oh, wow. This has been so helpful.
What
Am
else?
I able to ask you a question?
Yes. And I
If,
normally don't go this long, so I'm just letting everybody know to be patient. But you go ahead because this is so such good energy for you and for people watching that I'm so glad. But yes, go ahead and ask your
I
question.
don't want to change the energy in any way, but
Oh.
it's a question about my grandmother's passing. I just, there's questions around it, and I don't know if you feel anything or,
Okay. When I work on cases where it's like a mystery of how someone passed, because I used to work with the FBI and the police on that, I don't do that anymore because sometimes it can get
okay,
heavy. Everybody else coming through has really good energy. Grandma's
okay.
energy has like a little heaviness of it. So I know what you're asking, but she's going to show me some other things really quick. And is there a blueberry reference with your grandmother?
I don't think so. Not that I can think of,
No
anyways.
one had like blueberry bushes or blueberry. Just write it down. I just heard
Okay.
that song, I found my thrill on Blueberry Hill. So I'm like, I don't know what they're talking about, but
Taking note.
Write it down. I would just say write it down. Unless you really love blueberries or something like that, or she can blueberries, just put it to the side. That's the first thing I'm seeing. Hold on one second. When I get her energy, was she already say the thing that you were going to say again? Was she already going through mental problems before she passed? Like, was she losing her memory, or was she declining before she passed in her memory?
Um, I don't believe so.
Okay.
No.
The reason why is I feel like there's something going on with my head when I pull her forward. And usually
Mhm.
that's like I had a head trauma or I started having Alzheimer's. And I won't know the difference. I'll just start to feel it there. So
It
did
was
she
a
have
trauma.
excuse me?
It was a trauma.
It was a trauma to the head?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep. I'm so sorry for that. There is a bee name. I keep being drawn to a bee name because she's like Blueberry, Bill,
Uh-huh.
I keep being drawn to that, but that's okay.
Uh-huh.
I'm just going to go ahead and put this to the side. Hold on.
Do you want to know? There is a bee name that
Oh,
was
yeah.
Bob.
Yes. And is that
Okay.
related with all of this?
That was her husband.
And was that the mysterious, was that what people
Um,
had a question about?
well, it's a it's kind of a long, crazy story, but she was at a friend's house and she fell down a flight of stairs. She somehow ended up in the basement, and I was the one that found her, but we're not. I just don't understand how she ended up there. It was just very confusing.
I feel out of it when I fall. So I don't know if she was drunk, but I feel very out of it.
Okay.
As I'm walking around, I feel like I'm slurring. That's why I'm like, did she have a stroke first? What's going on with her? I don't feel well. That's one of the things before I fall. I'm not feeling so, it's like something's off. I'm not feeling so right.
Okay.
Um, and this is random, but do you have somebody in your family with the name of Francis? Because they just showed me my dad's name, which is John Francis.
No,
Do you have somebody's name John here or crossed over?
not crossed over that I know of.
Okay, that's okay. Just put it to the side. She's drawing an F for me over and over again. So that's okay. It might be a name that I don't have in my vocabulary, like it's for Lena or a different name, but I know that there's an F. Is it an FR? Frank. She just keeps saying it over and over again. Frank or
Okay.
Francis. Okay, that's okay. So this is what I do. I pull back. You can tell the energy shifts, right? That I can pull
Yes.
back and
Yeah.
I can say, did someone do this to you? She says, no. Were you alone?
Okay.
Yes. Were you tipsy? I feel like she's going in the wrong. I feel like I'm so tipsy or out of it. I feel like I'm going in the wrong room. I feel like I'm opening it to go to the restroom, and I feel like so when you open the door, the steps right there.
Yeah, and the rest of the rooms on the other side, and that's where she was supposed to be
That's where I feel
in
like
the
I'm going.
restroom.
Yep. When I ask about foul play, she says absolutely not. I just
Okay.
keep getting that. Absolutely not. She's
Okay.
she's like it was a dumb thing to do, but I just feel out of it, and I feel like I'm opening a door to step in, and then I feel like I fall.
Okay.
And she's showing me in the Titanic how they have the necklace at the end. Do you have somebody's necklace who's crossed over as well?
Uh-huh. I have quite a few of her. I have pretty much all of her necklaces. Yeah.
Okay, that would be why she
Yeah.
shows me. So they'll show me something ambiguous that I do not know, and then they'll show me like, oh, and she has my necklace, and that's their way to confirm it.
Hmm.
Yeah, I do feel out of
Yeah.
it, and I feel like I step hard because they're like, well, that must have been a big fall. But I step knowing that I'm just going to walk in, there's going to be a floor. And that's why I
Sure.
tumble. Does that make sense?
It does. That makes a lot of sense,
Yeah.
and it brings peace. It does.
Good. I'm glad. So whenever I see that, if it were foul play, she would tell me they answer strong yes, and when I say they, she says no. She says
No.
absolutely not. So that's what that tells me with that.
She had been getting dizzy spells for about a week and they weren't really sure why. So, I mean, it makes a lot of sense. It does.
Yeah, that I do feel out of it, almost like a brain aneurysm clogging or like a stroke or something. It does
Right.
feel fuzzy to me. And so
Yeah.
that's why I was like, did she have problems before she passed? Because I feel kind of out of it, like something, I'm not feeling well. Nothing painful that I need to go to the doctors, but something's just not right. That's how she puts it to me.
Okay.
But she also says that she did not suffer and that she passed away in a peaceful way. And can I tell you, as hard as this was for other people, she had this thing where she wanted to age gracefully, and she never, when I say never, because she's a very feisty lady, she never wanted to have to be in a situation where she was declining and put on depends. Never. Like when I say never, never.
We talked about it all the time because she was just a very classy lady. She was phenomenal. She's somebody I really looked up to. And I think about that often because I know that that's not what she would have wanted.
She would not have.
So,
She's like, if
I
I
know
came into
that
this world fast, I left fast. But I did, Julie, I did everything fast. I did everything fast. That's how she says it to me.
she did.
Yeah. And did she
Yeah.
like Victorian homes, or is somebody's name Victoria? I keep feeling like you know how they have Victorian homes? Am I saying that right? Victorian style houses?
I mean, she loved decor. I
Okay.
wouldn't say, I don't know a Victoria.
No, that's
Well,
okay.
a distant cousin, but
Okay. No, I saw like a Victorian home. And my eldest and I were just talking about Sarah Winchester Mystery House because we used to live in San Jose and everything. And I just kept seeing like a style where it's like, remember when I told you your family's more eccentric than mine? Do you know what I mean?
yes, yes.
Yeah. And so there's classy, and if I were going to have a style for your grandmother, I would use a Victorian style was more her style because they had all those little collections and
That's
knickknacks.
very well said. Yes.
Does that make sense? Okay.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
it does.
Good. Well, I'm glad this brought
Um,
you peace, and I'm so excited to see what you're going to be doing with their information coming through. And if you have any questions, this is one of the things about me that I love to do is I love to help people write. So if there's any questions that you have, my email is up here. Please don't hesitate to ask me questions about the process or starting. I'm so excited for you, and I just want to keep encouraging you as well.
Thank you so much. I just cannot even tell you. It was like this kind of put everything to peace for me today. And I really appreciate it. I will keep in touch with you for sure.
I love that, Mindy. Thank you. And I always tell people my business is actually called Peace and Serenity. It's Julie Talks to Angels on here, but I always say it's so that people feel that sense of peace and serenity after the reading. So thank you so much for being here, Mindy. And hopefully this recorded, if not, write down as much as you can. And I will post it over on my YouTube channel, and you can double click here to my website. It will take you to all my social media pages so you can see it.
Okay. Thank you, Julie. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank your family.
All
I'll
right.
send you back with you. Good luck with everything, Mindy. Thank you.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you guys for being here. What a high energy day. Are we just all don't stop believing? You know what, you guys? A lot of us are just waiting, like, oh, this has to be perfect, and I can't do this, and I'm nervous, and I get it, but sooner or later we just have to have gumption to go. I'm just gonna start. Thank you, Kim. Thank you, Mindy. Thank you, Elena. Hey, Roxy. I'll see you tomorrow. Jenny's asking about my sister. Hi, Pink Petals. I haven't seen you in so long. So my sister Angie went home 2 days ago, and it was just a beautiful visit. Thank you, Mindy. And am I not following you? Let me sure follow you. What a beautiful, beautiful day. Perfect. And so if you're just coming on too, I have one more opening in our Zoom event. It's tomorrow, October 22nd at 3:30 Pacific Coast time. If you want to partake in that class, I have one more spot open. You could just message me through my email and let me know that you want to sign up. You're so welcome, Mindy. What a complete privilege doing that reading for you. I'm so glad it came through. So this is my book that I was telling her about. I know it's going to be backwards on here, but it's available on Amazon and Kindle if you want to read a book to find out how loved ones cross over, what was my story as a medium, and kind of like example of readings that I've given in order to bring you comfort with your loss. Then please pick this up, because that's why I created the book for you. That message was for everyone that has a project. Beautiful message. I agree. I'm so glad. I'm so glad. Well, I'm keeping a promise here. I just wanted to say if anybody has any questions, and then I'm going to be pulling some cards. So if you just want to come in and say hi, I'm not going to do further readings, but if you just have like a random question, like, how long have you been doing readings? Is anyone ever stuck when they pass? What are signs that they show? I'm glad to do that, and then I'm going to pull some cards. Is my daughter at peace? Yes, Mandy. Everybody who crosses over is at peace. And I don't know if your mom had crossed over before your daughter, but there was a woman who was able to help her cross over as well. And I keep hearing Esther and Easter, so I don't know if someone's name is Esther or someone passed away around Easter, or someone's birthday's around Easter. But don't ever let a medium tell you that someone's stuck. That's not a thing. No one ever passes away alone. Your loved ones on the other side are there to help them cross all the way over, as are light beings that I refer to as angels. And so no one ever passes away alone. When they pass away, they look at their life and do a life review. It's like watching a movie, and they're either happy about the way that they passed away or they have regret. Either way, they want to help you live your life here and to help you with any unsettled business that they did. And Mandy, she passed away on Easter. I'm so sorry. That's why she's coming through. And I keep hearing that song with, I don't know if you guys have a Jiminy Cricket connection, but I just keep hearing, do you know that song? When you wish upon a star, makes no difference who you are. I keep hearing that. So see, Mandy, there's no way I would know that. And that's her way of saying, I'm over here, Mama. I'm totally okay. And she's so much healthier over there now too. So I don't know if she was just very sensitive for this earthly plane, but she is at peace now. She has very much, I call it fairy energy, like Tinkerbell. Yeah, fairy energy, very sensitive. Is my niece sign for me a butterfly? Yes. So if you, Lynn, I love that. So if you see a butterfly, you're welcome, Mandy. If you see a butterfly, Lynn, and you're like, is this a sign from my niece? I feel like it's a sign for my niece. Then it is. It's like, just think like a child when you're looking for signs. That's why kids are like, that's Nana, that's Pop-Pop. And that's why I can do readings, because I'm very childlike. Yeah, these are perfect questions. Thank you guys so much. So if you're looking for a private reading, whether it's phone or by Zoom, just for the end of the month and only for people watching this, I am offering $25 off of my 1 hour phone readings and 1 hour Zoom readings. So you can double click right there and it will take you to my website where you can see all the information on where to schedule. And when you put in your request for a reading, just go ahead and say that you saw me today, October 19th, and that I mentioned a $25 off. That's for my hour phone and Zoom readings. So if you want to schedule a reading with me, you can go through my website. Elena, hi, thanks for joining us. Was the hummingbird that visited a night over a week ago my mother-in-law? Yes, if you thought of her when you saw the hummingbird, then it was. Do you know what I mean? It's just very simple. It's like when you see something and you think of someone, then that's them showing you a sign. And why would she do that? When spirits cross over and they look at their life and they do a life review, if she had an action that changed the trajectory of your life, meaning like if you're not married to her son anymore and she should have treated him differently, so he treated you differently, or if she should have given more reassurance to you during that marriage, then that's how she would come through to say, I see everything now, I see the truth now, and I'm here to help. Thank you guys for being here. And moderators, you are on fire today. Thank you so much. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull some cards for you all. And what I ask is, one, I only do this for my followers. I do this to thank you for being here. So if you're not following me before I pull these cards, you definitely want to do that. And then what I'm going to do is after you follow me, I'm going to ask you to put a heart in the comments that you want a card. And then I'm going to pull one card per person. So Elena, you were asking about your mother-in-law. She's like, I have become one of your guides, and she's helping you right now. Danny, I feel healthy and happy. So I don't know if your dad's crossed over, but I feel male energy around helping you too. Lynn, your niece, Lynn just asked, does my niece send me signs of butterflies? She's like, yes, and make a wish. Make a wish, Auntie. Annette, I'm just a thought away. So sometimes we're like, how do I talk to people? They talk to you within your mind. So they give you thoughts of that too. Okay. JW, right. Oh, I am so sorry. Please forgive me. So if this is when someone had the way that they crossed over, this is for Julia, JW, right? If you didn't make it there in time to be able to say goodbye to someone, or if they had harsh energy when they were here, you're welcome, Annette. Then this would be their way to watch over you and say, just please forgive me. I'm here to help you now. Janine? Oh, we are soulmates. And this also, for me, whenever I see cards like this, I always say, pay attention to that plumeria flower too and the smell of gardenias. Claudine, I was met by very loving people. And for some reason, I feel like this is a pet that you had crossover. Linda, oh, life is a series of choices. Please choose love. I love that. So look for things in the shape of a heart. I love that. And thanks for moderating today, Linda. Crystal, I love your name, Crystal Sugar. I see all of your thoughts. So whenever I see a card like this, it's like people's minds must race. And you know you're smart, Crystal. You're 10 times smarter than you think you are. So it's just a matter of like trying to always learn new things so your mind doesn't dwell on negative things. You're welcome, Linda. You're welcome, Lynn. Richard, you are never alone. You are never alone. And you have been the lighthouse for so many people. You've got a lot of gifts, Richard. Please don't overthink them. And I don't know why I hear jazz music with you, Richard, but I do. Brandy, KK, don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. If you have a direction that you want to go to, a school or something new that you want to learn, Brandy, don't be afraid. It's never too late. You're welcome, Crystal. Jennifer, we have been together in our dreams. So whenever I see these, I always say daydreams or actually dreaming. Write down your dreams. Your relatives are giving you messages in your dreams. And there's a lot of good books on how to interpret your dreams too. You're welcome, Crystal. Trishan, thank you for being here. The earth is our school. So you're going through a learning lesson right now and you're doing a total 180. So Trish, be kind to yourself and up your self-care and buy yourself flowers. Buy yourself those roses. We don't need other people to do that for us. Jennifer, and be unapologetically yourself. I just kept hearing that. Jennifer, I don't know if your mom's passed, but I have a woman around you and she keeps telling me, don't worry about me. It is beautiful where I am. It is absolutely beautiful. And Jennifer, you yourself, I don't know if you get isolated, you want to stay inside, but get out in nature. Because that's going to help you a lot with any anxiety that you're going through. You're welcome, Trish. Janice, and it's one card per person, you guys, just so you know. Janice, we are so connected. And this means like trust your intuition. You have times where you've thought of a friend and then they've texted you or called. You trust your intuition. You have stronger intuition than when you're thinking. And I used to do that too and say, oh, it's common sense. Trust that intuition. Perfect, Jennifer. Okay, she's very much around you. Wow. I know my mom. Yes. Elizabeth from Italy. Elizabeth, I'm just pulling cards for people, but I can pull this card from you from Italy. Thank you for joining us. I always give you a good night kiss. You're welcome, Jen. I always give you a good night kiss. Yeah. And I don't know if you are Italian, you have a nono or nona, but I keep seeing an elderly grandmother. I don't think she had teeth, to be honest with you. There's a joke about her losing her teeth. You're welcome. CAV, thank you for being here. My death was playing this. Please don't worry about me or hold on to any guilt. Okay? And this also means, like, if you feel guilty for a lot of things that you couldn't do, if you only look at your shortcomings and don't praise yourself for the things you're doing right, then try to do that so that you can enjoy your life better. Okay? Sandra Sunrell. There is no time where I am. And I don't know if Sandra, you have a teacher in your family, but I kept seeing that too. But there's no time where I am. So if you feel like time's running out, you're never too old to follow your dreams, you guys. It's never too late to have the childhood you always wanted to have. Shyla. Just want to make sure too. Shyla, you're really good with kids. Believe in yourself, Shyla. You can do it. You're very good. My grandmother is, is the woman who's crossed over. Yep, she's with you. You're welcome, Sandra. And then Betsy. Oh, although you may not understand it now, everything is going to fall into place for you. So sometimes, Shyla, people who are going through a spiritual awakening, who see 555, buckle your seatbelt, whatever you're trying to manifest is coming to fruition. Whenever I see this card for people, it's like your path forward won't make sense. But when you look at it in reverse, you'll be like, well, that's why that person wasn't here. So whenever I see this, it means rejection is protection. Okay? Rejection is protection. Stephanie, good evening. You're good. And then Stephanie, whenever I see this card for somebody, it means that they're learning now that they've crossed over. So if you had somebody who was like rigid in their beliefs about religion, or just like men need to do this and women need to do this, they're learning over there now that it doesn't matter who you are with your qualities of whatever you want to do, man or woman, that can come to fruition. So sometimes we have in our minds, you're welcome, Betsy, I can't do this, I'm not a man. You can do it too. Women can be millionaires and billionaires. Hello, Rosalind. I wish I would have told you more often how much I love you. And I don't know if your father's crossed over, but I feel like this is on a male energy. So look for signs and the shapes of a heart. You're welcome, Stephanie. Kim, I'm with the rest of the family. And I feel like this is with your entire family's coming forward. That's like not only Maggie, but your mom too. And then also, Kim, this is a time for you to connect with your imagination in order to have things come to fruition. So sometimes we think very logical, like, oh, I should do this, and it's good to plan like an adult, but think like a husband, think like a child, plan like an adult, and allow yourself to be like a child. Hi, Lori. You're welcome, Rosalind. I'm helping you from the other side. So, and by the way, Lori, I saw on Facebook how you had the fortune teller, and I was like, tell me my fortune. I was going to say, yeah, I am helping you over here from the other side. And I don't know if a big family gathering's coming up, someone's getting married, or you're having a family reunion, but I just keep seeing that. Thank you, Shyla. You're welcome, Kim. Thank you for moderating. And if you're not following my moderators, please do so. They volunteer their time and they have wonderful energy. Wonderful. Hi, Tammy. Here's a card for you. I have a new understanding. Same thing like how I read for Sandra. You have someone who's crossed over, who was rigid in their ways and has changed their thinking and is now helping you do that as well. So you're not too sensitive, Tammy. We need your sensitivity is your like superpower. Okay. Rejection is protection is baffling to me. Yes. Rejection is your protection. Sometimes I want this person, and it's like, thank God it didn't work out that way. Hi, Diana. Whenever I see this card and it says it's not your fault, sometimes empaths think that when we see someone sad, we've done something. So try to look up empaths letting go of guilt, like on YouTube or Hay House books or anything like that. I think it's going to help a great deal. Oh, Tammy, I'm so sorry. Oh my God. Did your daughter love sunflowers? Or did you sing You Are My Sunshine, My Only Sunshine to her? Because I pulled this card right when I saw your name. And whenever I see this card, it's like someone actually loved sunflowers, or you saying You Are My Sunshine, My Only Sunshine. Your phone died. I was gonna say your phone passed. Your phone died. That's okay, Tasha. I watch over you every day. And whenever I see a card like this, look for things in the shape of a heart. And I don't know, Tasha, if you're like thinking about going back to school or reading up more. She loved flowers. Perfect. She's good. And Tammy, I don't know if you have a Mary or Margaret crossed over, but I do feel like she is with a lady who helped her crossed over, and she absolutely loves animals, by the way. Miss Kiki, did you know I gave Isaac a reading? I hope you saw that the other day. And Miss Kiki, your grandmother will always help point you in the right direction. Kate, you have nothing to feel guilty about, so let that go. That's beautiful, Tammy. Perfect. Rebecca, I had to leave that way. Good evening, Moon Vibrant. So sometimes when people have to leave, when we don't get a chance to say goodbye, we feel guilty, but I'm so sorry that happened to you. But they do jump, just so you know, and that had nothing to do with you. They just were having a hard time saying goodbye, so they jumped before you got there. But they are alive on the other side in spirit and watching over you, directing you each and every day. Remember me by the happy times we created. So Moon Vibrant, this is for you. This is for you. My mom went very quickly. I felt like that. Thank you. And you know your mom, she wouldn't have wanted anybody waiting on her. She's a tough, tough lady. Jody, she says, there is no such thing as death. So your sister's living vicariously through you. Now, I don't know if you make homemade bread or cinnamon rolls or something like that, but gosh, I just keep tasting something baking. Miss Kiki says, yes, I got the message that you said for my grandmother, and it meant so much. Thank you for been helping me through the hard times. I'm so glad. I'm so glad. Dee Dee, I can do a couple more readings, and I'm standing right next to you. So Dee, is your husband or your father crossed over? Because you have a loving male energy who's watching over you. Go on a cruise. Somebody, Dee Dee, did you think about going on a cruise and you're holding back? I just heard, go on that cruise. They live vicariously through us, so they want us to still keep doing things because we're not going forward without them. They're with us every step of the way. Anything from my nanny, my grandmother, Elena, tears cleanse the soul. Your grandfather just went on a cruise. Your grandpa, they're like, why are you not going on the cruise? Yeah. Tears cleanse the soul. So Elena, she knows. And write to her, sweetie. Sometimes we don't see signs from our loved ones and we're like, I just wish I could see a sign from them. Write to your grandmother every day. She is your guide. And I smell her perfume. It's like, oh, I don't know that flavor. It's like a fruity perfume, Elena, but I can smell your grandmother. I wish I knew all the different fragrances. It's not a heavy perfume. It's very light. Raya, who got me the bag I got in the mail? I do not know, Raya. But I do see this card for you. If I would have known differently here, I would have done differently. So now they're changing and they're helping you with new directions as well. I don't know if that's for her, but yesterday, me and my sister we're talking about taking Isaac on a cruise. There's double messages. There's double messages. Yes, I understand, Tammy. She says, I would like a dream for my daughter. I'm a medium and I don't even have dreams of my family. I've only had 3 of my dad because he had to apologize for a lot of things for not being a good person, and 1 of my mom. So write to them, get a journal, and have it be Tammy, letters to my daughter, and only write to her in that journal. Give yourself 30 to 40 days, and that strengthens the spiritual communication. And then read any books you can on signs and things like that. I think I'm missing my sign. Oh, thank you, Shayla. Thank you. I think I'm missing my sign. I'm not sure what it is, Annette, but I keep hearing we will be together again. And I feel like a sister energy around you. So I don't know if one of your friends has passed. What a great idea to journal. Yes, perfect. All right, you guys, I am pulling back a little bit. I have to save my energy for my sessions tomorrow. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for allowing me to read for you guys today. I absolutely love that all of you are here. I want to once again thank my moderators. And before we end things, I just want you guys to put in the hearts, put in the comments. Shyla, I didn't see anything muted, sweetheart. We're not muting at this time. Do you feel you're being muted? I thought I saw you. Okay. Perfect. Yes. So thank you guys for being here. Blessings to all. Before we go, in the comments, just put a heart for anything that you're trying to have come to fruition. Let's pull this beautiful energy all together and put a heart in the comments for anything that you're trying to. It's like you don't actually have to put your prayer request, but if you want more love in your life, if you want more abundance, if you want to feel better, if you want to start seeing more clarity from your spiritual family on the other side, there we go. There we go. And I just keep hearing, when you wish upon a star, makes no difference who you are. 'Cause when you wish upon a star, your dreams will come true. And so many of you have helped others to, that's okay, Tammy, you can just put a comment. That works too. You can just put XOX. You guys deserve to have all of your dreams come true, and you need your miracle. I'm convinced that you will get it, Elena. Just keep going. I understand we don't understand why we're on hold. We don't understand. There you go. Kim's putting hearts for you. Sometimes we don't understand why our dream is putting on hold, but if the angels, God, whoever you believe in as your higher power, is pausing your dream to come to fruition, it's for a reason. So trust the timing. The dream is coming true. Trust the timing. Much love to all you guys. Thank you guys for being here. I'll see you later. Keep moving forward. Do what you can now. Yes, I'll message you through the form of payment. Perfect. Thanks, Shaya. Love you guys. Thanks.